Hi, I'm Dan Curtis. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my audiobook version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I've been a musician, composer, and audio engineer for most of my adult life. Several years ago, I started narrating audiobooks. During the long hours I've spent in a small booth reading and recording, I've often thought how much better audiobooks would be if they had music and sound effects, like a movie. So I decided to take a book in the public domain and create my own audio version of it. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you how I produced my audiobook version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I chose this story as my first fully produced audiobook because it's a short story. The finished production is only about an hour and 16 minutes. Another consideration was that there's not a lot of dialogue in the story, so I was able to focus mostly on music and sound effects. The first thing I had to decide was what accent to use for the narration. Even though The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is an American story, it takes place during an early part of American history. I researched how other renditions of the story have been done, and they've always used British accents for the story, so that's what I did. My production process was to first record the narration and dialogue, then add music and sound effects. Once the narration was recorded and edited, I started working on the opening theme. The music needed to be a little spooky and ghost-like, but it also needed to be a little bit driving because this is a story in which Ichabod is chased by a menacing ghostly figure on horseback. This is what I came up with for the basic theme of the story. One of my favorite musical elements was Ichabod singing in the church congregation. The author describes Ichabod Crane as a total geek. In addition to being the schoolmaster, he was also a singing coach and led the choir in the local church. The book says Ichabod's voice could be heard resounding above the entire congregation. I couldn't resist portraying this moment with my own interpretation of how he may have sounded.
The mighty fortresses are God.
Another prominent character in the book is Brom Bones, who competes with Ichabod for the affections of Katrina Van Tassel. Brom Bones is described as a burly, boisterous, arrogant guy who's considered the hero of the countryside. Brom Bones needed his own theme to describe his pompous nature in musical terms. Here's what I came up with. I hope you enjoy my audiobook version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. You'll find a download link below. With your support, this will be the first of a series of classic books brought to life with character voices, music, and sound effects. I hope you'll join me on the journey. Thanks for watching.